So recently, there's been a big debate about who's the richest person in the world or who has been the richest person in the world, and that's because of how rich these new billionaires are getting. I mean, they're closing in on 200 billion, multiple of them at the same time. And there are two questions actually. Who's been the richest person in history and who's been the richest person in modern history? In terms of modern history, the richest person in the world was John D. Rockefeller with a 400 billion plus net worth, because it's hard to really get what his full net worth was. It's really hard to estimate that, but it makes him the richest. Also, he did own a monopoly, so which is illegal now, so it wasn't really the best way of obtaining that wealth. I mean, Jeff Bezos, if he owned a monopoly as well, would be extremely rich and would be the richest person in modern history, no doubt. But obviously that's illegal now, so he can't do that. Next is who was the richest person in history, and that was Genghis Khan. I know a lot of people are going to say Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa also had about a 400 billion plus net worth, but that's not even close to Genghis Khan, because if we include Genghis Khan and how much land he owned about 14 million square feet of land. That is absolutely mind-blowing, and I can't even quantify how much land that is because it is so much. His net worth was estimated to be in the hundreds of trillions. That's right, hundreds of trillions. Even if you doubled Mansa Musa's estimated net worth, it would be nowhere close. Even if you gave him an extra $1 trillion, it wouldn't be close. And I know that a lot of people think Mansa Musa because that's the top thing on Google, but just Google Genghis Khan land or Mongol Empire land, and you'll see how big that is, and then you'll understand why that's worth so much. Next is do not look up to these people. These are horrible people. Genghis Khan was a disgusting, horrible person. I know he had a lot of money, but that does not make him someone to look up to. Next, same thing with Mansa Musa. I know he was a black man who owned a lot of money. The problem is he was also a slave owner. I think he owned around 12 to 14,000 slaves. He's not a good person. Same thing with John D. Rockefeller. I mean, he owned a monopoly. At the time, it wasn't illegal, but what he was doing was kind of not the greatest way of obtaining money. It was pretty detrimental, actually. So, not the best people to look up to. Sure, it's cool they had a lot of money, but